I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone. Consideration of the agenda, please.
Move to approve tonight's agenda.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. Consent agenda. Consideration of claims 11:18 and 12:6. Minutes from 11:11. We also have student attendance agreements. Yeah, we want to.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
I will second that. All those in favor?
We just have a quick discussion.
Sure. Okay, you want a discussion?
I just have a couple questions.
Okay.
That's all. I can find it. There were a couple charges. I just was curious what they were. One was an overage for, I think it said decks.
Oh, that's new J2, so that's our copier. So now it's Dex Imaging, and
Dex
so,
Imaging,
yeah,
thank you.
they give you so many copies for free,
Right.
and that's the overage for the month.
Okay, I just didn't recognize the.
The name, yeah.
And then there was another one for headsets. I was just curious. Headsets and like phones for the gym or something.
Oh, that is from Granite Technology, that's our new phone company.
Okay,
Yeah, so they took my headset and didn't replace it, so I had to,
okay,
and they missed getting a phone for the gym.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Granite Technology.
They never, right?
Thank you. There's no other questions.
The outlet, like, never happens, nothing ever happened.
Dex Imaging. Okay.
Yeah, and then J2's 360 Business Solutions is the other part.
That I think I've heard of.
And then all four of these. I've got a search for you.
Okay, those are my only questions. Does anybody else have anything?
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, public comments. Do we have public comment?
Good evening, folks. If you guys don't know me, my name is Tom Millette. You probably saw my campaign signs around. I am the representative-elect for House District 2. And if you guys don't know, House District 2 runs from Ashley Lake and Marion in western Flathead County, all the way up to Libby in southern Lincoln County and all points in between. And so I do live here in Marion. I just live right down Pleasant Valley Road. And I'm going to be the new representative for at least the next 2 years for this whole district. The reason I'm here, and I apologize for my voice. I think it's because of the cold weather and stuff. It's just messing with me. The reason I'm here is just to, number one, introduce myself to you and just let you know that I'm available for you guys. I'm your representative in Helena. If you have any issues with state agencies, if you need some legislation run, and it's getting really close to getting any kind of new legislation in there. As a matter of fact, we only have until January 6th to get the rest of our legislation. And most of my legislation is already in. But if you do need something, please let me know. If you want me to be your voice in Helena for anything, let me know. I'm very readily accessible. If I can give you my card, I'll hand out. Who's the secretary here? I'm just going to put some cards out here. You can take these cards. And they're not my official legislative cards. I don't have those yet, but that's my campaign card. It does have my phone number, so you can call or text anytime. It also has my campaign email address, which I still use. And you can find out what my legislative address is. My legislative address, if you can remember this, it's tom.millett, M-I-L-L-E-T-T at legmt.com or .gov. That's legmt.gov. So you can reach me there too. And the last thing that I'll let you guys know. So when I ran for office, obviously we get campaign donations, and I got more campaign donations than I could use. And you can do one of two things. The Commissioner of Political Practices allows you to do one of two things. You can either give it back to the people that donated, or you can donate it to a nonprofit. So I decided to take around the $800 left over, and I split it between two groups. I gave about a little over $400 to the auxiliary across the street. And I have $400 here for the school. I know you guys are trying to raise some money for a volleyball net. My wife and I, we donated to the, she said, Tom, just write a check for such and somebody will come pick it up, and they're trying to get a volleyball net at the school. So I thought, well, that's a good thing. I can just use $400 and give it to the school. So here it is right here. Who would like to take possession of this?
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you need a receipt for that?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I've already reported it to the COPP. And I did actually check and make sure that I could give it to a school, that a school qualifies as a nonprofit. So you're good to go with that. And that's about all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Um,
All right,
if I-
thank you.
It's been a long day for me. I just drove back from Libby because I had some meetings up there. So if I cut out here early, please don't take that as a bad way. I just got to get home and I got other things to do and I got emails to answer all of them. I didn't know that this job was going to be quite extensive, and it started all the way before the legislative session was started. So actually working for you guys already, and I'm not getting paid for it. But I'll stick around as long as I can.
Thank you.
Sorry, that was a 3-minute timer, but you're giving us money, so.
I'll keep that in mind next time.
Thank you.
Feel like I'm following an expert there. I'm the school district 5 trustee for the high school district 1, which means that any votes done for Flathead High School and what happens there comes through me as a representative of Marion. So, you know, if your graduates are having troubles, or if there's some program that you really care about, we're running into budget cuts down there at School District 5, especially in the high schools. And so one of my things is to touch base with everybody here and figure out what you need. But my other is to make an inroad into the community and see if we can convince more people to support our high schools. That's pretty much it.
Remind me your name again?
Will Hyatt.
I got it. Thank you.
And I'm hoping to come in and have a chat about the school and learn a bit more than just.
I know we're not supposed to respond to public comment, but I'm going to, because I think it's topical. We do have community dialogue, and we build into our board meetings. If you'd like to get on an agenda where we can have more discussion.
Oh, awesome. That's great.
I want to say the high school is slated for something. Anyway, we could make it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Whatever.
I'll email you what date.
Yes.
We have basically, every board meeting, she created a governance calendar where we try to invite people from different areas of the community to come in and be a part of the board meeting.
Is that on your website, Cal?
It's not, but I can send you the dates.
Okay, I'll email.
Okay, perfect.
But, yeah, we can flex things. So.
Great.
Thank you. Okay, any discussion on anything? Committee reports, PTO.
Okay, so we kind of did a roundtable about turkey bingo. We ran out of food, apparently, which is great. So just need to buff up that a little bit. We did run out of bingo cards, so we gotta order some of those. Looking at different ways of advertising. Because at the community dinner, people were like, what, you guys had bingo? So we need to figure out how to reach those people. We had it obviously in the Marion monthly newsletter that Cindy puts out. Lily had it on her reader board. We had it on our reader board. Short of getting a list of people that want to come and calling them, I'm not quite sure. Radio station, we could call radio stations, maybe order a banner that says bingo this Friday to hang outside somewhere. And then maybe the Remind app, doing a shout out on the Remind app that Friday. Don't forget bingos tonight, kind of thing. Christmas store is up next. Wednesday, we're going to start taping up some boxes from the kitchen. So we have some boxes for kids to take the gifts home. We need to get tables from the fire hall, have them here by 2:50. ask, please volunteer, don't bring any extra children. We have enough children to watch, no extra kids. We have quite a few new volunteers coming to the store, which is great. I've made sure to build in some experts with those newbies, so they're not lost. We have 6 people Friday morning, 5 Friday afternoon. We have 4 Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon. We have 4 Friday morning and 4 Friday after. So 5, 5, 4, and 4. It's probably helpful to have more. Lisa was going to reach out to her watchdogs and see if any of those gentlemen would want to come and help the kids shop or bag up gifts or whatever. I did email out the schedule. We did the little random drawing. So which classes go first, second, third, fourth, and then versus the next day.
And just as I pulled up the governance calendar, parent or PTO is on for Jen. So if you have any people that want to just come check. Next up is then it's a staff, the high school. The high school
Sorry.
and FBCC is February. So. Thank you for doing.
And we're thinking maybe the sandwich boards that we have, they print them out on Mondays, the Monday of the week bingos, but Friday bingos, what's on the ends of the roads here. They don't get stolen. But our Christmas store that we have coming up, it's like, think like a garage sale in a gym. People donate new gently used items except for clothing, and the kids come in and buy stuff at
25 cents.
25 cents, 50 cents. They can take presents home for their parents and siblings and stuff. So
The
the
volunteers
kids,
back on.
the kids love it. Yeah, they love it. We're always short on men gifts, so if you have anything men like at home that you'd like to donate. It's hard. Men don't get rid of anything.
No.
And
They've got holes in it.
Take what they need.
Yeah.
That's it.
And they use it up. So
And we always make sure kids don't have money to spend it.
we scholarship kids, yeah.
Shop.
Did you get the email I sent you? That was about the Christmas store, the volunteers.
Yes, I've got you and Maggie one morning and Lori the next morning.
Right, if you need me on Friday afternoon, I'm available.
Okay.
I'm packing cookies with the auxiliary Friday morning, but I can be Friday afternoon.
Friday night, if you can, I'll put you down,
Okay,
because that's, the end of the last day.
right, that should be the big rush.
What I wrote down for your name, Friday. 4 brain cells left. 3 of them are the penguins off Madagascar and the other one's King Julian. That's what it said.
And I might be even available all day Thursday. So,
If you can show up, it'll be fantastic.
yeah, I think I'm available all day Thursday. Well, Thursday you weren't short.
We have
Friday
5
was
and
your-
5.
Friday was your short day.
Yeah.
Okay.
You never know.
No, we'll see what we gotta do, right? Okay. Teacher rep,
All right, we did EPA Day right before Thanksgiving break, and we've ran it differently the past couple of years, and I think the teachers are liking it a little bit better, splitting it into grade bands versus everybody mixed together and then the classes stay together.
For our guests, can you?
Oh, yes, sorry.
It's okay.
Indian Education for All, which is the state mandated. There's standards that go along with it that help us to teach the children about the Native Americans. There's 9 essential standards. There's 7.
There were 7.
There are 7. They did. Oh,
There's 10 nationally. We took our 7 from Montana and they had 3 at the American, Native American Institute at the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
They built the
Yeah.
essential 10 understandings off of Montana's 7, which is
7. So
we have 7.
they're pretty broad, which is great. It helps us teachers to be able to kind of, for the kindergartners, build something in for them. Our teachers are responsible for doing lessons all year long with those standards. But we choose right before Thanksgiving because it's a short week and the kids are kind of hard to get attention anyway. We choose that week to kind of just focus a half of a day now is what we do on having the kids learn. They rotate around to different teachers in the classroom and each teacher has a specific activity for them. So we had yeah, everybody was really great with that. I even did some in PE too, so kind of had fun. The kids love it. We've got Spirit Week is coming up for Christmas. And then yearbook competition is underway as well. It's what Katie wanted me to report. I think that's a
Yearbook competition.
yearbook for the cover,
Oh, thank you.
for the cover competition. And I think those she wants in January. I think is what she. That we've got.
Hey, thank you. Clerk report.
Yeah, everything's pretty quiet in the business office. But it's gonna get busy with W-2s here soon. I already had one previous staff member ask when their W-2 is coming. I'm like, it's December 2nd. Next month. Maybe. I did not get an interlocal balance from West Valley. I emailed her a couple of times and she hasn't responded, so I don't know if she's not in the office or what, but. Our budget's still looking good. 8th grade would like to sell nachos to help raise money for field trips and history clubs. That's on the agenda or an action item. They are aware that whatever they sell needs to be approved by Terry in the kitchen and be compliant with the Smart Snacks program. So talk to Wendy about that. I spoke with our auditor. He fell ill and has taken quite a while to recover. So he's behind. Our audit was due in June, right? And it's December. And he said he understands if you guys are really mad. But he's like, I really was not coherent. I mean, his brain cells weren't working. He said, I wanted to do the job correctly, and so I need to recover. I've given him read-only access to our software so he can log in and look at documentation, because before he'd send me a list, well, he'd come in, I'd print him a list, and he'd just go through and highlight things for me to print out for him. So I've given him access so he can just go in, log in, click scanned items, and look at them himself. I'm hoping that will save him some time instead of having to travel to the Flathead, because that takes 2 extra days because he lives in Ash. Wait, a day here, a day back.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
He said his goal is to get 2023 finished by the end of the month and begin 2024 in April and be completed by June, so we'll be in compliance. Our PTO and student council has issued a scholarship last year, and he's not yet used the check. I did reach out to him. He didn't answer. I talked to his mom, and she said he thinks he wants to go to WyoTech. He's not sure, but the check's made out to Flathead Valley Community College. So I said that check will no longer work. So I said he needs to figure out what he's doing and let us know. So we either put the money back into the scholarship fund for another student, or we can reissue it to WyoTech if that's where he chooses to go. But he also didn't complete his part of the deal and attend our end of the year assembly to speak to the kids either, because that's a part of it. So I don't know if we need to hold the kids more accountable and not issue checks until they fulfill their end of the contract. It's just something to think about for next year.
Yeah,
We had them check out the thing.
Yeah, like when they award it at the school, they can give him a certificate maybe, and then he has to come call whomever has to collect it at the school when they come. Yeah, maybe if that's a good idea. So I think that's it.
We could even make it like contingent upon, that you apply to the college or acceptance letter or something, right? So we know it's going to be used. Just about.
When I worked at School District 5, yeah, I just got a list. They have to Susan Smith and FBCC. And that's just all the checks for. I don't know if the counseling office, I assume Kristen does all of that. Verifying all of it. So yeah, I'm not sure.
And Sharon, on the budget versus actual, when we click that link, I think it's a different. It's just claims.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Not a big deal. And just fix it, just so you know. Fix it. I trust that it's still good, but I was gonna peek.
Thank you. Okay. Principal report.
All right. Okay, so Lisa has begun to really start working on the Watchdogs program. So it's Watch and then Dads of Great Students. And so it's a program for volunteers to come into our school and make a positive difference with the kids. They come in, they help teachers, they read to kids, they're trained on what they can and cannot do. And the goal is to make it almost like a
a fraternity type situation where it's a really big honor to be a watchdog. That's how the program is designed. It's ideally structured towards men to get positive male role models because they obviously already have many female positive role models as teachers. But the goal of watchdogs is to get more male presence in the building to kind of help those boys also see, you know, what they can grow up to be. I do know as of now we have 2 volunteers already. They even get special shirts and special events and all sorts of things like that. So we've got a lot of pretty excited people about it. It is really, really big in other states. It's just not quite hit here yet. So it'll be exciting to see what that turns into.
We have an Elra.
Yeah.
Peterson stuff.
Yeah, so it's not, they said in other states, in almost every school, it's so popular. So hopefully that'll continue because our kids definitely need that.
So question, volunteers, are they background checks today?
Yeah. Yep. So I think you can run it both ways, but either way, for the watchdogs, even if they're not, they're never allowed to be alone with children. So it'd be just like a grandma coming in and reading with the kid, you know, type situation. For effective recruitment and retention program, our mentorship program seems to be going well. Our 3rd grade teacher connected with another teacher from Kyla and had the opportunity to observe and teach. I would like to explore more opportunities like this in the future for staff. It was really beneficial for this specific teacher to find someone that matched his unique learning style and being more laid back. So I'm going to continue to reach, if you can't find anyone that's a great match here, I'm going to try to build relationships with other schools so that teachers can kind of find their person that they need for a mentorship, or at least observation opportunities. Lisa and I have begun working on Montana Cares. It's a Montana-based program that focuses on connecting students, staff, and parents to basic needs and community resources. So for example, if a parent, it's midnight on Saturday and they need to know, where can I wash my clothes? Where can I get food? We're out of shelter. They can go on this app and it'll connect them with those resources. It's also a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week crisis line. So if they're not feeling safe, if they're feeling self-harm thoughts, things like that, they can report it. It will also be used as our school reporting system for our behavioral threat team. So if a staff member sees a child drawing a gun on his paper, it may not be that big of a deal, but 5 other teachers see little bitty things and they kind of add up. So it allows us to kind of keep track and make sure we're reaching those kids that are struggling. You know, a kid says something bad about themselves on a paper, a teacher can just text it and it goes right in, and we can kind of track just to make sure we're not missing any kids who are quietly suffering. It's a way for us to just make sure everybody's going to be okay. Kids can also text that. It'll hopefully be installed on all of the kids' computers as well as staff computers, so they can make tips for things they've heard. Like, I'm going to, you know, if they hear a friend say something about self-harm or a friend make a threat, they can anonymously go in. It can be accessed by police officers via like a pre-warrant or emergent warrant, some fancy name. For if there's a big threat to the school, they can see who made that, but it's like a court-based thing. So we won't be able to see, but they'd be able to tell us if it became that.
But
yes.
Sort of free.
And that is a grant-funded program that was funded actually by the legislature for a little while, and it's funded fully through 2027, and hopefully with the additional behavioral health bill that passed last year, they're hoping to be able to fund it additionally for schools. Unfortunately, a lot of the legislature thought we still had CSCT programs in school, so they didn't understand that schools didn't have any behavioral health assistance for kids at all. So they're starting to become more aware of that and really see that it's really important to support schools for students that are struggling. The leadership team is banding together to work on accreditation this year. We're just now beginning to plan professional development opportunities for next school year. There's a lot of parts to the accreditation this year. It's very extensive, so their help is priceless. And so if you guys want to know more about what steps and projects are needed, I'm more than willing to walk you through it, but right now it's more than you probably have broadband for this late at night. Paraprofessionals have been informed they must take the Para-Pro assessment. It's required by law under the No Child Left Behind Act and the Every Child Succeed Act. For the first attempt, the test fee will be covered and they will be compensated for 2.5 hours of testing time. However, if retakes are necessary, the cost and time will be the responsibility of the individual paraprofessional. I have heard there's some concern about the timeline of the test, and I've encouraged them to come and speak to me if they feel like they need more time. That can always be arranged within a reasonable time frame, of course.
And just to, just to clarify, the law or the requirement is that they are shown to be highly qualified.
Yes, so
Right?
that's,
It's not necessarily that
Yes.
test is the law,
yeah,
but that's how we're choosing to.
yes.
show.
That's really the only paraprofessional test that's, I've looked everywhere for other options, even like a paper test we could give, and it's just not that I've found. So to be highly qualified as a paraprofessional, you either need to complete 2 years of college, have an associate's degree or higher, or complete this test. So that's how we do it.
When have we done this in the past?
Principal,
Yes.
What, 6 years from now we've been missing it?
it's been a while.
And then we find out we're missing it.
What, 2 days before I found the test and told everyone they needed to do it? Yeah, so I'd heard that, we were taught that, told that, oh, it can just be whatever the school deems. But then when I was in my Northwest Mass meetings, they're like, no, you actually need to have a test, something laid out. And so, yeah, so it's just one of those things.
And I
that
think
kind of-
we as a school board have never had a policy per se, or something that says this is how we're gonna determine qualified. So maybe we need to do that.
Well,
Because
it's-
I just did it case by case, like one person, instead of a test, they took some professional development that took them about 4 months to finish. It was really targeted toward the kids they were working with in special education, and they passed the course and I accepted that instead,
I
so.
was emailed my family regarding this. Yeah, I was sending you access. It's like, where'd it go? That was in November.
Mhm.
That I was looking at.
Yeah.
So when were the employees notified?
So they were notified, what day was that? Last week. They were notified last week, and it was with a written thing, like, this is what it is, this is the law. This is you get 2.5 hours of pay. This is how you sign up, all of those things. I asked them to try to have their first attempt done by January 6th. But since having heard they started studying for it and they think they need more time. And so I said, I told them last week, they said, well, what if we don't pass in January? I said, you have until the end of the year. I just want to have a date set that I know you're gonna at least,
The end of the fiscal year or the end of the school
the
year?
end of the school
So it
year.
was Monday, December 2nd that
Yes,
we were texting.
yeah.
So there's a lot of January 8th numbers. And by the way, a child left behind doesn't exist.
No, but it was replaced by ESSA. It was
And
initially
even Lance was
established.
like, oh crap, it was an oversight, because he sent me the same stuff.
Yeah.
From 2004.
Yeah.
Right.
He
Yeah, that is,
said,
you're right. that's
he
not-
said he highly recommends not putting in any financial burden. And I sent him exactly what you wrote.
Mhm.
So to ask for them to pay for the second attempt, it could be seen as prohibited if they don't have the funds to cover.
What about praxis tests that your teachers are required to pass?
Train.
Well, that's their, to get their teaching license to be able to work, they have to pay for it.
1 to 3 months. Like, are we giving our staff the tools to succeed, or are we setting them up to fail?
Well, it's a pretty basic test. It's eighth grade to sophomore, it's like freshman year algebra is the highest it goes.
It's different than the teacher.
Yes,
And are there preparation like?
yes. So they were given access to preparation materials. I also get them a list of the skills that would be tested on, and there are free testing testing things online that our staff can use too.
Is it jeopardy if they fail?
Well, they have until the end of the year to pass it. They have to be highly qualified to be a para.
Would you
To be
willing?
rehired. right?
Would you
Yeah.
be willing? Because we've been missing this for 6 years.
Mhm.
And the only January numbers I found were from 2002, 6, and 8. I went through everything, and I used ChatGPT too.
Yes.
Um,
January was a date that I chose because I wanted to give them time, but also let them have all of winter break if they wanted more time to study, things like that. I was trying to get it done within a reasonable time period, but not say by the end of the year because I didn't want well, obviously it's the end of the year. But I wanted to make it that it needs to be, the first trial needs to be within a reasonable time frame, not waiting until like June 4th. And then saying, oh, I need to retest over the summer, because we need to know hiring wise.
This requirement, per Lance is for staff used in Title I, and I understand you're saying it's
Titles.
an administrator decision. But if the staff are used in Title I programs, then they do need to have this requirement or meet the other two.
So we are school-wide
Title. So all of
That's
us.
what I haven't clarified.
Yeah.
And I knew it as, and this could have changed, so check me if I'm wrong, but I knew it as any paraprofessional who works with students in an instructional capacity. So somebody who's only attending to physical needs, maybe helping with
Or like in the kitchen.
changing or things like that, like they wouldn't need to have this.
Right.
Or if you're a kitchen
Interpreter.
professional or something,
I-
but if you're an instructional paraprofessional, you're working with small groups, you're helping students with reading, math, writing. Those are the ones that I just, and as part of our highly qualified educator payment,
Mhm.
yes. So we actually lose money if people are.
I don't know if allowed to discuss this or not. I can ask questions, I guess.
Mhm.
So failed attempt, what happens then in June?
So then it would either be discussed on, I was hoping to cross that bridge when we come to it, because I don't want to overpromise or underpromise. Obviously, if it was, I didn't pass it, I tried really hard, and I'm willing to. I'm kind of stuck in a hard spot with that because it needs to be done, but I also understand
Right.
people need, yeah, it needs to be done by the end of the school year.
So as I understood, there's really not supposed to be a grace period at all.
Yeah, you're supposed to be hired
You're
with it.
supposed to be.
I agree.
Yeah.
And we've been screwing up for 6 years, but
Right.
they shouldn't suffer because of that. I mean, that goes against
But
our
when we
culture.
hire them for next year.
Yeah.
Right? Like.
So it should be done before we hire them for next year.
Because well, any classified staff are year to year. What is that called?
At will?
Yeah, they're at-will employees. So it's not like they have an expected contract for next year ever. So I guess I would look at it as, okay, so for next year, you have to have this.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right, to be approved or hired.
Would you be willing to move back January 16th?
Yes, and I told them if they felt that way, they could. Shannon informed me that there were some issues, and when I spoke to them the first time, I said, if this seems too hard or we can't get a testing date, come and talk to me and just let me know and send me the date you scheduled.
So we've got testing dates. They've been paid. How much have we spent?
It's $85 to test, but they can call and reschedule.
It's free rescheduling.
If you cancel the test, they only give you 50% back. But if you can call and reschedule, because there are no dates available in January. I was on the phone in my office, there's no, so they had to do it like December or it would be February.
In the form of a question, would you change the date by at least 1 month?
I've just said,
Just to give them, I mean, yeah, just to give them a more opportunity.
yeah,
If they-
all I ask is that they come to me first with problems, so I have the opportunity to work on it personally, because I want to make sure they know they can come to me. And I'm more than willing to scoot it back. I just didn't want to have it so late that they don't have any time to retake it. And then say, well, I only took it once, and I don't have time, and then it'd be very hard to tell someone you took it once. I'm so, I just wanted to make sure.
Did you find out how close together they can take it?
So they have to take it, it depends on what paper you read, even though they're from the same company. Some say 2 weeks. 2 weeks after they receive the first results, or 3 weeks after. They
Okay, so it's not like they have to wait months.
No.
Or something.
3 weeks.
I will fault a MEO employee all day long for not coming to you, but for somebody that's a para, that can be MEO, anything, you can see why that might cause them not to want to be this week. That may be something to consider in regards to this.
I just feel like to honor the chain of command and allow me to build a relationship, I feel like they should be encouraged. Hey, did you talk to her about that first? Because I would totally have made any concession that they needed. I just would like to be afforded the opportunity to first before in a public realm that's recorded.
So do we need a special board meeting to change the date?
No, I just tell me and I'd say, yeah, sure, let's move it back. That's fine with me. I just want it done before so that we don't, some crazy something comes up and we get in trouble.
And I think that it might be good going forward for next year
Mhm.
to just for us as a board to have, like, this is what how we're going to determine this.
Yeah.
These
Well,
are the things we'll accept. If they don't have this, they'll have the summer or whatever, right? Or
No, it just clear communication. I mean,
Yeah.
This doesn't help at all with recruitment retention. It's people are stressed,
Yeah.
you're at least making the appearance that jobs are in jeopardy and people can't work under that, especially over the holiday. So sorry you didn't hear from them, but that could also put their job in jeopardy.
So Lance recommends we don't target cause them to be paying cost with this. So if they need to retake it, we should probably just pay for it. Yeah.
That's,
Right.
I
Okay.
confirmed with Lance.
Okay.
It's buried in there.
Is what Lance said.
I sent him exactly what we sent and he said, can of worms.
Okay.
It's legal, but he didn't recommend it.
Well, we can consider that later. We'll see how they do. And how many people are we?
3.
Yeah.
Oh. While we're on the subject, so I don't forget future board item, I think we should consider updating their contracts so that this is in there, because you don't want to come back on us. You never told us, we didn't know, we've been here this many years, never had to do this. Now I know.
Yes.
It needs to be very clear that this is a requirement. This is how we're going to help you. And 5420, our policy, talks about paraprofessionals and talks about training. Yes, they get on the job training, but are we training them? One of them that I reached out to was using Quizlet. It's like, Quizlet is like the cheap free, maybe the right answer, maybe not. Like, is there any prep
Using it for what?
study? Like, have we given them prep materials?
Yes.
Oh, for this test?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
As long as they have the tools to succeed, that's all I care.
Yes. And my intention was never to make anyone feel any sort of way. I just want to make sure that we're up to snuff so that no one can ever say like you knew and you did nothing. So that's why immediately when I found out, I was like, okay, we've got to fix this because I don't want something to come back and get us. I just want everyone to be.
Plans is working, but yes, it's one piece of the puzzle.
Mhm.
Thank you.
So our Sunshine Committee just started signups for the 12 days of treats for the holiday season. I asked Brenda if she changed it to the 12 pounds of Christmas, and she said no. I feel like it's only fair. We're still waiting for Flathead Electric to come out and inspect our new modular building before we can use it. The plan, once it's approved, is to use this building just for the remainder of this school year for music and speech PT, OT services. So it's being used as we're going to add before the teachers move in next year, whichever classes we decide to put in there. We want to make sure there's cabinets put in and the lockers, and so there's just a lot more to do, but the space will still be able to be used meantime. Jim Mossy, our tech guy from CTS, has been working on upgrading our system. He installed a new router and is working on expanding the Wi-Fi coverage to the new building. Our camera system still isn't doing well when I wrote this. I sent a strongly worded letter to the owner. He replied he'd get to fixing the issue. We have seen some improvements, maybe not at the rate we'd prefer, but things are at least moving in a positive direction. I am in contact with Nancy Berg from Missoula, who will help us get scheduled for Run Lock Fight training in the next school year. And then below that are the upcoming important dates for December.
It's hard to get.
It's very hard. I had to call U of M like 4 times just trying to get the program.
People need to be here for Christmas, so 8 o'clock.
Yeah, first class could at 8:30.
Okay,
So, yeah, you come in at like 8:05 and the kids start swimming. So,
How was the educational summit?
It was really great. We had, I believe it was 6, was it 6 or 7, Lily, legislators show up
and what now?
For
the summit we went to. I believe it was 6, 7 legislators.
For There's two at that end and I think maybe seven.
Yeah.
I think maybe
So
seven.
we had senators and House reps come, as well as board members and administration. We talked about things like, funding, of course. For people in the House and the Senate constantly have people vying for money, but we talked about, the importance. We talked about, steps after a bond fails. So, we talked about, could there possibly be a fund that the state sets aside if bonds continually fail in school districts to where they can appeal and say, hey, we just need it because we need a working bathroom, that speak to safety and cleanliness and basic hygiene needs of students, versus like a new turf. We wanted can there be something that's a fail safe because it is a government building to help at least keep it safe and sanitary. They talked about additional funding through the quality educator payment, changes next year, which will come. That's a beast on itself. They talked about expanding possibly the early literacy grant into early numeracy grant. So it'd be additional pay for serving 4-year-olds as well as summer programs for K through 3rd. They talked about a multitude of things, special education funding. It was really great to kind of see a lot of the legislators were past admin. I think all but one were actually former teachers or past administration, which was really cool because they understood. The biggest thing that they pressed upon us was if 50 people show up in favor of an education bill and 300 who don't want to pay more taxes or more whatever show up, that even if I'm passionate about the bill, there's not much I can do. So they said, please, 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 if you want this to pass, we need numbers. We need people showing up to speak. So they're willing to write anything we need them to write and make changes for education. It's just unfortunately education. He said, what did he say? Something like Medicaid and law enforcement and other places' voices are very loud, but unfortunately children's voices are very small, just because our schools are always so busy. They don't get to make it. So it kind of gets pushed aside. So he just encourages all to get involved as possible to help push those additional funding efforts. The most exciting thing to me was the talk of trying to figure out how to fund education not on a property tax basis, or at least expand the number of people that are taxed to include summer homes and rental properties, because there are tax breaks for those. So they talked about basically taking some of the weight off of full-time residents and placing it on anyone who owns property, which I thought was neat. So.
Concert next
Yep. Christmas concert is next Monday,
Monday.
the 16th at 6:30. Get here early because we know how many people fit in that gym. But everyone's really excited. They've got a lot of percussion this time. So it'll be super, it's still called percussion, right? When it's barred instruments, and recorders, and the kids have been working really hard, and it's neat to see them actually play notes and music, and it's going to be a really good one.
Boom makers?
Huh?
Are there boom makers?
No boom whackers, but a bunch of recorders. We know how you love hearing children play recorders all together.
And boom makers are your favorite.
Okay, thank you. Action items, consideration of hiring C. Maxwell as a sub.
Move to hire C. Maxwell as a sub.
I'll second that.
I move to approve the hiring.
There you go. I will re-second, yes.
So will he be wherever he needs to be? Is he able to get around to all of the different classes?
Yep, he'll be able to move around just fine, lift everything he needs to lift. He got completely cleared. Ms. Shirati will be his direct supervisor. I will not. And
Which is my
then
best.
her daughter, who's the next line item, I will be her direct supervisor. So there is no crossover.
And just FYI, all of these people have gone down to get their things, but they haven't come back in. So we're just kind of being preemptive. Their things.
Your fingerprints, yes.
So this is just so that if they come back between now and the next board meeting, we can get them in the classroom.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Consideration of hiring A. Sharati as a sub. I will make that motion to hire her.
I will second that. I'm a little shocked. I didn't think she liked children, but no, I'm just kidding. She's grown up a lot. She's a good one.
Yeah, she is a good one. Yes. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
Did I say aye?
No, you didn't.
Aye.
You're waiting because you're usually on Zoom and there's usually that one delay there. That's it.
Habit.
Thank you, Rob. Consideration of hiring Jay Wagger as a sub.
Move to hire Jay Wake. I move to approve the hiring of Jay Wake.
I will second that.
Is there any, consider any,
Discussion?
discussion? Thank you.
Is it Jenna?
Yes, Jenna.
So there's two Jennas.
It's the
Little
yellow
Jenna.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Little
There's
Jenna.
two Jennas.
She was supposed to be graduating this coming year, but graduated early.
She graduated early.
She's in college right now.
Yeah. She's the last
The
one.
dark haired one.
Is she 18?
Yes.
Yeah.
She has a high school diploma.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, she's in college. Okay.
She's a go-getter.
Very
I
sweet.
think I know who she is, yeah. But I was picturing.
She-
the other one.
They always went to Arizona in the winter. So
Yes.
she was here for volleyball.
I remember
and
her.
for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. Consideration of eighth grade snack sales. I would make the motion that we allow the eighth graders to sell snacks.
I will second that. Any discussion?
The discussion on it.
Is that the nachos they want to sell for?
Yeah,
Is
they
it-
just have to have special chips. The first ingredient has to be whole corn. So. Okay, as in the kitchen, because Terry doesn't consider the nachos, I mean, the chips isn't the whole grain part of that meal.
Right.
The different thing is the whole grain, but as a smart snack, that has to have a whole grain in it. So the first ingredient has to be whole.
Are they selling it during lunch? Is that right?
No, it's because it's a standalone snack at the end of the day. So it has to comply with the smart
It's
snack.
during the school day.
It's during the school day.
Gotcha. Okay,
So
so
it
I was
has to
thinking at
comply.
games or something.
Yeah, no.
Gotcha.
So that's why it has to comply with her smart, because she'll get dinged if somebody were to rat us out. And I don't know who would, but yeah, just trying to protect Terry's job.
So they just using the cheese in the can type stuff?
Yep, and that's okay.
And that's
But
fine.
that's not the whole grain portion of snack.
I know, right? To me, it's about.
Bread on molecule away from plastic, but it's all
Right,
good.
yeah.
As long as we have the whole.
Radioactive.
Okay, got it.
So I advise Wendy to bring the chips to Terry and let her look at them.
Yeah.
And Terry said if they're not the right kind, she will order the right kind and she will exchange them so that they can sell the right stuff.
Gotcha. My word.
Okay.
And this is to like make money for the history trips. And stuff like that,
It's
right?
for the history club
Mhm.
trips and eighth grade class trips.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, future agenda items. I think Rob brought up one to update the Paris contract. Was it
Yeah, for the next year.
Yeah, add parent
Yeah.
S2 contract
here?
for ongoing years.
I think also when we advertise for any positions too, just to have it in the advertising. It's like, just like we do with teachers, like you're required to have bachelor's degree.
Anything else you guys can think of that we need to, what's on our
PTO is our January. Talked about we as board members should do classroom visits if we haven't. January, evaluations, you're working on those, yes. Curriculum areas, let's see, new teacher, orientation stuff, negotiations. Going in January, that's what we have on there.
District 5 is already done theirs.
Training and negotiation. We talked about starting it earlier.
Yeah,
so
we
that's why
did. District 5 is done for 2 years.
I know.
He's like, thank goodness.
But I have under, area 2 staff recruitment and retention, I have new teacher, new teacher training is what it was. And then negotiations is January, but. And then policy reviews as needed. We need to do. So we need to complete our evaluations of Julia next month, review them with her in February. March is, we talk admin contract stuff. See how it's going on that.
Okay, and do we have any information for tonight?
Hold on, security camera usage,
Security camera usage?
what do you call it, policies?
Security camera policies. Okay, so I have add paratest to contract for ongoing years. Governance calendar and PTO. Classroom visits should be happening by board members, is that what it is?
They don't all have to be in January, but I have it like specifically, we put it in January and
Oh, it should start happening.
Okay,
just like as a couple touch.
Negotiation committee forming, so we can form a committee in January.
yes.
Start JMax will review in January to review in February. Review with her in February, and then security camera policies.
Do your evaluation. We appoint you in May, but.
Yeah,
This is just.
it's right, it's usually April. Is it
This
April?
is around the same time
I
as
don't think I have room in this.
The information need to be on.
Here it is, admit, oh, no, that's not it.
That's.
Administrative.
no.
This is like negotiation.
Yeah.
This is all January, February, March.
Okay,
And point clerk in May. So I guess we can do it at the same time, or we can wait until the following month. So we can-
yeah, I think we can wait, that way we're not doing them all together.
Okay. That's-
Okay,
Let's put time clock.
time clock.
Have information.
I'm confused because I'm filling this out for the teachers. What are you, for future agenda or for information?
Future agenda,
Okay,
Future agenda, but under information.
no, future agenda item.
Actually,
Provide the information that I found in the information if that's allowed, otherwise I'll just wait. Does it have to be scheduled for information? I've never used it.
no, information is just like if somebody has.
Yeah, if you have anything you need to.
Usually
talk
it's,
about.
but usually it's on a non-action item, like it's information of other things, right? Think so?
This month,
So if it's a non-action item for this month, so if he has information about time clocks and he wants to give us information, then we put time clocks on next month's meeting agenda. That's allowable, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. So if you want to talk about time clock, you can. Or you might. do it-
oh, are we on information?
If you want to do it now, you
If you
can.
want action and event of any kind to be
Yeah.
considered next month,
We
you
can
should probably
take
give
the
us
action.
information now.
Our staff handbook. And I didn't look at our MTSB policy, but it says that we're supposed to be clocking clock. So that needs to get adjusted to whatever we're actually
It says we're supposed to be doing what?
using a time clock.
So the parents do, they do. It's on my phone.
Hourly.
Hourly employees do.
Does it differentiate? Because we may need to change the language.
Yes, salary employees don't clock in and out. Be teachers.
Let's at least look to see if we need to change that language so we're compliant.
Put it in policy or in handbook?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, higher
Okay.
why it's brand, so we need to check it.
And it's a digital app that they use.
Yes, if it's on their, they can use it on their computer or on their phone, either way.
And do they have to be in the building when they're doing that?
They can only clock in from the perimeter of this building, of the school. They can only clock out here.
I may have misread it. I just want to review it.
Okay,
Check handbook language. Good. Yeah. Easy enough.
so. Was there anything else? Okay,
Move to adjourn.
Second that.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Very good.
Wow.
Wow, we did